Hey, what's up guys, welcome to another stream. Thought I'd play some Blue just so let's get into it. Anyways, also my voice is a bit swollen because, I've been streaming so much, but whatever. Just wanted to throw that out. Anyways, let's see. So yeah, pretty much, we are getting eggs now. So, Alright, so, yeah, pretty much. Alright, so we are making definite progress when it comes to depression. So I'm going to start ramping up production of toys. Yes, toys, because if I go units, and I head over to the dwarven children, guess who's doing what? Well, guess. You know what they're all doing? They're all either playing make-believe. Well, the point is they're not playing with toys, so let's make toys for them. Right, well, let's see. White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki says discussions are ongoing to figure out a way get those made, and then let's see. Without escalating tensions.
Fighter jets manned by Americans departing a NATO base to fly into airspace contested with Russia raises serious concerns for the United States and NATO. So the logistical questions here are things like, how do you get planes into Ukraine in a way that is not escalatory? And what are the logistics and operational details of that?
Okay.
That the U.S. has not held back on military assistance to Ukraine.
Alright, so I'm going to take a bold step and make all livestock animals unavailable for adoption. So,
As the war in Ukraine continues to expand, healthcare infrastructure is becoming enveloped in the crisis. The WHO's Michael Ryan says that so far, the country's medical system is holding up.
Alright, there we go. So now, all livestock animals cannot be adopted. Good. So then, let's see. Still adopt small animals, but not livestock animals. And all they are kind of sort of fragile livestock, so let's say. Okay, so let's see, over here, so we are basically relying on eggs for food at this point. Now let's see, relying on food for mental health at this point, and we are relying on eggs for mental health by extension.
Activists are calling on Montgomery County public schools to take action on climate change. WNU environment reporter Jacob
So let's head down here.
MCPS is in the process of updating its sustainability policy.
Let's head over here.
Activists say the new draft policy doesn't commit to specific actions, and the school system is way behind the rest of the county government. Most county buildings have been purchasing 100% of electricity from renewable wind sources since 2016. The MCPS sits only 38%. Johnny Krishnamurti is a sophomore in high school in Rockville.
Good.
Krishnamurti was among dozens of students recently protesting.
So now
they're also asking school leaders to put solar panels on all schools. For WNU, I'm Jacob Frankston. Let's now get
just great.
Meteorologist Jason Stamina.
Today's cold rain is mostly in our rearview mirror. We can look forward to a couple of more pleasant weather days, and then we have to brace for a stormy Saturday. Most of cloudy skies tonight and chilly with lows in the mid-upper 30s.
Not well with the draft was.
Tomorrow, for the most part, it's cloudy with highs near 50. Some improvement on Friday with some sunshine and highs near 60. But Saturday is a roller coaster. We start the day at 50 degrees with rain before temperatures drop and winds crank up. The rain ends, but we could have some snow showers in the afternoon. Temperatures fall into the 30s. Winds gust over 80 miles per hour. We clear out Saturday night, but it's windy and very cold with wind chills as well.
So what are we going to do?
For the Capital Weather Gang, I'm Jason Sanders.
Let's go right ahead and let's get
That's our forecast, Jason. 43
Alright, so let's get some food cooking.
37 degrees in Damascus and 43
also going to need cheese. Lots of it. Why do we need cheese? Because it's food. And we can actually get it. So, yeah. Using that cheese, hopefully, we can get enough food to survive. So, yeah. Only 2 fish. Seriously, just 2 fish? Anyhow. Alright, then let's head down into the mines proper. And let's head all the way down here.
Support for NPR.
So let's head over here.
And from
And let's see. So this is all priority 1. So like this will need to get done. But when?
From Columbia, working to help
Well, let's
clients
see.
deliver personalized email and SMS campaigns that drive revenue and create genuine customer relationships.
Alright, then let's see. So now what do we do? So people fishing, okay,
And from the
apps and tunes, okay. Alright, then let's see.
From NPR News, this is All Things Considered. I'm Elsa Chang in Los Angeles.
Alright, let's see. So we need stuff
2
done.
million people have now fled Ukraine, according to the UN. And as the humanitarian crisis there worsens, calls for a no-fly zone are
Alright,
being allowed.
let's see.
Today, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky tweeted on Instagram, "Close the sky right now, stop the killings." And a group of 27 foreign policy experts, including former U.S. military leaders and defense officials, have signed an open letter to the Biden administration. They're urging the U.S. and its NATO allies to impose what they call a limited no-fly zone to protect humanitarian corridors. Former U.S.
Alright,
Ambassador
let's
to
see.
NATO Ivo Daalder is
Let's
not
channel
among the
down.
signatories, but helped implement a no-fly zone in Libya, and he joins me now. Welcome.
Glad to be here.
The letter reads in part, quote, "It is time for the United States and NATO to step up their help for Ukrainians."
Alright, so
before
let's
more
channel down
innocent
a bit,
civilians fall
and let's
victim to
see.
Putin's murderous madness. Ukrainians are courageously defending their country and their freedom, but they need more help from the international community.
Alright, then let's head up.
What is your response to this?
I know people
Well,
are
I
just
think
so
we all share
depressed.
the heartache of
Nowadays.
watching the
So
pictures
let's see.
on our TV screens and just understanding the horror.
How are we gonna get this mess
inflicted
cleaned
by
up
Russian
anyways?
forces on the Ukrainian
I
population.
have no
It's
clue
not
how
just
we're
the
gonna get all
refugees
this
in
cleaned up,
large
but
numbers, it's the people in the cities
all
who
I know
can't
is
get
we
out and are internally displaced.
let's see,
we all
so-
share,
Okay, let's
the real
actually
question
get all this
is
stuff
about
cleaned
it.
up.
In your view, is it
Oh, let's
possible
see.
to implement what this letter is pushing for, which is what you described as a limited no-fly zone?
Yeah, I don't know what a limited no-fly zone really means for 2 reasons. First, the vast majority of the damage that the Russians are inflicting on Ukraine is by ground forces, by rockets, by artillery, by tank shelling, by missiles. None of those would be affected by flying a no-fly zone. And so the reality is, just as we saw in Libya when I was NATO ambassador, when people are being killed by ground fire, the only way to deal with it is to go after the forces doing the killing. That's not a limited no-fly zone. That's going to war against Russia.
I'm curious because this is an argument
Alright,
I've
let's see.
seen from others.
So
who
let's
are
go right
opposed
ahead and
to
let's
a
do
no-fly zone
stuff.
For the same reasons that you are, of concern of escalation with Russia. But why then, if you say it would be
So,
relatively
let's
effective
see.
in addressing the problem, why do you think there is this
Okay.
need for a no-fly zone?
So I think there's a tendency for so many to believe that there are limited forms of engagement that doesn't lead to escalation, but will have a real effect. And I think if you look at no-fly zones in history, with a very, very few exceptions, they've never been very particularly effective to prevent damage against people in the way that we're seeing the Russians inflicting right now. If we were to do a no-fly zone, the pressure to actually start bombing Russian forces on the ground that are inflicting most of the damage will just increase. So it's a first step along an escalatory ladder.
Alright,
That if
so
we're gonna
what do
go
we
there,
do?
We better be very, very prepared to go all the way.
Today, we're hearing reports from
Okay,
Mariupol
let's
where
go.
Ukrainian officials have
Units.
accused Russian forces of firing on evacuation points. Do you see any other humanitarian options at this point, short of
Alright,
an escalated
let's
war?
see.
Well, clearly, international humanitarian agencies are trying their best to help the people inside Ukraine. The international
So we
Red
lost
Cross is
plenty of
there,
people.
NGOs
We have
are
plenty of
helping. The
animals.
UN probably
Alright,
could do
so
more
let's see.
than it is
What do
currently
we need
doing.
done?
But other than helping the Ukrainians defend themselves, the only other way we can stop this
Yeah, I mean,
war
we need to
is
attract
directly
migrants.
up to the this point, no one has argued that we should. And trying to find what I think are halfway measures that risks that very escalation when at the same time we are not prepared to move in that direction. I just don't think it's
Pretty much, we are going to need.
Ivo Dalder is president of the Chicago Council on
Let's
Global
see,
Affairs.
we're going to
and a
need
former US
people
ambassador to
getting
China.
food
Thank you.
made. We're going to need people getting stuff done.
As the invasion of Ukraine disrupts oil markets, and that is taking a toll on people with modest incomes. Inflation already pushing
Let's see,
prices
are we
for
making
things like
cheese?
food,
No, we are
oil,
not. So we are out of milk.
And here's Chris Arnold reports.
Despite the fact that we're milking animals constantly, we are still out of milk. Right, let's see, so let's get more animals milked.
In other places, but it's still $4 a gallon. Renee Page is filling up the tank.
It's scary, yeah. I'm waiting for it to hit $5 or $6. I don't want it to, but it might.
Page is an administrative assistant at a hospital, and she says the gas prices are coming on top of the rising cost of just so many other things.
You do cringe.
Alright, so we are making cheese somewhat. Let's see. Okay, let's get that made, and then let's see.
So you make a lot of substitutions because I feed a family.
See if we can get things cleaned up a bit.
It could be very
Let's also go you. Also, let's go Z. Alright, so yeah, we're burning through food here though.
Some places it's much higher.
And this is
And
not
if you don't have a lot of
sustainable.
money and have a long commute,
So let's see, if I go like Z, if I go kitchen. Yeah, we have a lot of barley. Okay. Let's see how much, seeds. Okay. Drinks. Alright, so we have a lot of barley wine. Okay then. I don't think we've actually started tapping into a barley wine.
Sticker shock to the remainder of the year. This is something that Americans just aren't accustomed to because we haven't seen it since the mid-1970s.
James Bushnell is an energy economist at UC Davis. He says back in the 70s, though, oil price shocks were much more damaging.
Finishes. Alright, let's see. So, what exactly do we need done? Alright, let's see. Hemp flour. Okay. So, we have a lot of stuff.
Most companies don't use much
Ish.
oil. Most people don't heat their houses with oil anymore.
Alright,
Those
let's
big
see. Any
size gas
eggs?
stations make us notice the price of
We have
gas.
70 turkey hen
But
eggs.
Bushnell says most
We are
cars and
not
trucks are way more fuel efficient these days.
we've not currently used. So pretty much the problem is this. We're running out of food fast. In this other category, if we run out of that, we're basically toast.
So some people barely drive at all, while others have long commutes
So,
in
yeah.
rural areas and they're getting
Alright, then let's get some cloth-used
Not to mention people
clothing.
who drive all day
Actually,
long
no,
for
it's
living.
not.
I need to use the gas
Let's
every
see.
day.
So what exactly are we going
Back
to
at the
do
gas
to
station,
get
Argenis Dominguez is an
stuff
Uber
going?
driver who's filling up his big
Well, let's see.
Toyota Highlander
Could use more
SUV.
eggs.
And is that a hybrid or
So
not?
let's get more nest boxes.
So you're burning some gas.
Yeah. I love it. Maybe
Get a nest box over here.
$60 a day adds up quick, but Dominguez says he's working more with the pandemic winding down. And he's a young single guy without a lot of expenses, so he says he's just trying not to worry too much about gas prices.
I don't care. I'm trying to live in life every day.
And if it gets too expensive to live in
let's
Boston,
see.
he's got a pretty good sounding backup plan.
If I could live for a year, I'd come back to my city, bro. The Dominican Republic. They can live in my place with less money than here.
Of course, gas prices are up so high because Russia's invading Ukraine. A recent Wall Street Journal poll found that 79% of
Yeah, I mean, we need stuff done.
ban on Russian oil imports to the US, even if that means higher gas
We also
prices.
need
Chris
fisheries.
Arnold and
Fishing. So let's get that done.
You're listening to All
Let's
Things
see.
Considered from NPR News.
Okay, let's see. So now what do we do? Legendary orchard, nice. Alright, let's see. So let's go. Let's go units. Where's your hunter?
Also, a strong backer of various
you.
conspiracy theories alleging that the 2020 election was rigged. Joining us
Okay,
now is
so
Colorado Public
many
Radio.
people weren't working.
are facing a number of charges, including felonies and misdemeanors. And what's interesting about this case is that many of the underlying facts are not disputed. The indictment says the pair devised and executed a deceptive scheme to give an unauthorized person access to the county's voting machine hard drives and to sit in on a software update. The information from
So now what? Well, let's go right ahead and see what we can do here. If I go kitchen.
First became aware of this possible security breach, Peters was attending an election conspiracy conference hosted by the CEO of Mike Mandel, and he is one of the leading promoters of false claims about the 2020 election.
Okay, so explain how Peters is connected to the larger movement to discredit the election.
Alright, so we're going to need seeds. We're going to need things planted.
Has been the focus of false
Alright, so let's get things
that it helped
planted.
steal the 2020 election for President Biden. Dominion is suing a number of the most prominent proponents of those claims for defamation. Peters and her allies have said that they do believe the 2020 election was stolen. Audits and
Let's also get some more stuff going, like
that
blueberry
confirm the
bushes.
accuracy of the election results. Peters has defended her actions on many occasions, and she has accused Democratic leaders in Colorado of targeting her because she's a Republican. And Peters has said she was simply trying to answer the questions and concerns many of her constituents had. And prior to this indictment, a judge had banned Peters from overseeing the local election in 2021. And there's a lawsuit to prevent her from overseeing the 2022 election.
Okay, so we are running lower and lower and lower on eggs. So let's put more nest boxes.
Death threats and all kinds of disinformation about how ballots are counted.
Okay, so we need nest boxes pretty much. Let's
So
see.
we're looking at all these other different threats to the democratic process.
It's an issue we're hearing from in states across the country. And in
Okay, nothing to catch there. Alright, let's see. So what are we going to do now?
Could also act on these election fraud conspiracy theories, and they don't want more people in the public.
Exalted Iron Vampire, looks like that.
The Bipartisan County Clerks Association in Colorado called this breach in trust by Peters
So what are we going to
devastating.
do here?
And Colorado lawmakers are
Okay, so
already
let's
working on
see.
legislation to try to avoid these types of insider threats. Other proposals would add protections for election workers against threats.
Okay,
I
so
will
let's
also
see.
note that Tina Peters is still currently running to be Colorado's
There's not
next
really much
Secretary
we
of
can do
State.
here.
And this is the top election official in the state. She's in a GOP primary race. And the Colorado Republican Party has asked Peters to suspend her campaign in light of this indictment.
That is Venta Berglund, public affairs reporter for Colorado Public Radio.
Nothing much that we can do other than get more fisheries fishing.
You're listening to All Things Considered from NPR News.
Yeah, I mean, quite frankly. Alright, so we are out of fish. Okay. What's next? Eggs. That's what we're gonna run out of next. Alright, if we run out of flour, we're gonna have a lot of trouble. So, you know.
Most economists agree it began in the early 1970s, during a time when
I won't be able to do much of anything if we run out of flour. Let's see. So let's head down here. Let's go over here. Alright, yikes.
From the BBC, delivering the latest news
So
from
by
the
the looks
conflict
of
in
it,
Ukraine.
yeah.
From the people living through it.
Let's see, so let's head down
To
here.
its global implications.
Let's see, okay, so,
News out from the BBC.
how full of all of these?
Also, weekend mornings from 9 to 10. You're on
Alright, so they are fairly full. Okay, that's bad. Let's see. Okay, cleaning done. We are going to need more stuff done here. We need to head down here.
More at ncga.com. Capital One Home Impressions is
We need to head
invited
down
live
here.
concert with very special guest
Head
Chris
down
Dolan
here.
in
here. And let's see.
Northern Virginia's only health system offering proton therapy. Its proton center is pro-patient.
Okay then, so I'm actually going to reduce priority, so dig over here, but at priority 2, such that I can order other things done. So I need certain things done first, like that area over there. So let's see.
Around the world that joined a newly formed international brigade to help Ukraine defend itself against Russia.
Stray dog.
Many more are
Alright,
signed,
nice.
including the Poles, who have their own terrible history with Russian invasions. NPR's Joanna Kikissis has our story
Okay,
of a small town
let's see.
outside Poland's capital.
So now let's go right ahead. Let's see what we need to do here.
Andrzej
Alright,
looks like
let's see.
everyone's favorite middle-aged dad.
So,
A welcoming smile.
let's go right ahead. Let's see. So what do we need to do? Let's see what to do here.
Close to the capital of Warsaw. I want 25
Alright, so pretty much, I mean, our tactic is to get more fish at this point, so we need more fish in order to use that tactic. So yeah, pretty much. We're gonna need more fish in order to get more fish. No, we're gonna need more fish. No, we're gonna need areas with more fish in order to get more fish. So yeah. Let's also see. Any miners? Okay, so we have no miners. Okay, then let's see.
Yes, here I was
Yeah, we have a dungeon master. And then let's see. Alright, then let's see. So we are making nest boxes. Good. Okay.
Poland has a traumatic history with Russia. The Soviet Union, an ally of Nazi Germany in 1940, invaded Poland. The Soviets imprisoned and murdered the country's entire officer corps and then blamed it on the Germans. Poland was under the control of the Soviet Union during the Cold War, and the Leeward's family suffered under communist oppression. His mother was jailed for resisting the Soviets. His grandfather was executed.
So what are we going to do here? Well, let's see.
His remains 5 years. I feel it deep in my heart that I have to do what my grandfather did, what my mother did.
So let's see.
Leonid sees Ukraine now facing the same kind of assault from Russia, so he wrote the Ukrainian embassy in Poland.
Listen, guys, I want to go to Ukraine and help you fight. I can take care of your wounded people, do whatever you
Alright,
want. I want to be with Ukrainian people in there.
Leonid is a trained nurse and served as an army medic supporting U.S. and Allied troops during the Persian Gulf War in the early 1990s. He's unpacked his own fatigues for his leading mission.
I'm not
The
listening.
only thing he's waiting for is an exemption from Poland to serve in the foreign army.
It may happen tomorrow or after tomorrow. Once I get the permission, I will go.
Not everyone is waiting for permission. At a sleeping motel near the Ukrainian border, we find a secret meeting point for foreign volunteers headed into fight. Minibuses idle in the parking lot.
Alright, let's see.
I'm Joanna.
A few men in military fatigues are outside waiting for the okay to board the buses and go to Ukraine.
Let's see.
Inside the motel pub, about 20 men, young middle-aged, all in military garb, drink hot tea at 3 a.m. No one wants to be recorded except Curtis, a tall, hulking ex-soldier from the UK.
Got South American, got Germans, Swedish.
Alright, let's see.
Do you have Americans as well?
Yeah, I believe it is.
He won't reveal his last name, but he's open about his goals as a volunteer soldier in Ukraine.
Stop the Russians, coming forward as fast as they are. It's absolutely obliterate Putin.
He calls Vladimir Putin a bully, and he says he feels kinship with the Ukrainians.
Alright,
Let's
let's see. So
the same
now.
type of people, do the same type of jobs, watching
Oh, nice. We have a
children
caravan.
running across the border crying,
Let's see.
hundreds of thousands of them.
International volunteers can be problematic for Ukraine if they feel like they're owed something for fighting or if they refuse to leave, says Polina Belyakova, a scholar of civil military relations at Tufts University. But she adds that volunteer soldiers from Poland and the Baltic states are fighting for the same goal.
They see Russia as a threat to their homeland, like Poland will be next, or Lithuania will be next. And they want to actually commit more to this fight. Ukraine, so Russian soldiers will not know in their doors tomorrow.
Alright, let's see. So now what do we do?
Że będzie taka możliwość. Tak, ale staram się...
Back at Jane Leewood's house outside Warsaw, his wife Ella bites her lip as she talks about her husband and his plans to fight in Ukraine.
Okay, we do not have enough stuff.
We first met each other in summer camp, and we've been together ever since. I know my husband. I'm not surprised that he wants to do this, but I'm really frightened.
Her husband squeezes her hand. He calls her his angel.
I feel scared. It might happen, but I'm back here. I'm going to take that risk.
Alright, so how exactly are we going to manage this? So let's see, how the heck are we going to manage this? Let's see, so I am weaning the population off of animals. So the lack of ability to adopt new animals may be some stress, but whatever. Let's see. So let's head down here. Let's head over here. Actually, no, let's head down here. Let's see. I guess we could buy food. I mean, we've spent so much time making food, I guess we could buy some. We have plenty of stuff to trade for it. Gives some goods, specifically some scrolls. Alright, let's see. Crafts. So here, let's get all the crafts of we bought from the elves and such as value stores. Let's also get a wax trash out. Alright, then let's see.
It has 10 arms, and researchers say it's the oldest known relative of the vampire squid and modern octopuses. Christopher Whalen of the American Museum of Natural History read the book.
Let's get some scrolls in here. No, just scrolls. Okay. Let's get a bunch of scrolls going.
Its name?
Biden, as in President Biden.
It seemed like a nice way to commemorate the beginning of his presidency.
Regardless of whether the president is flattered by this tribute, the discovery pushes back the fossil record for these types of animals tens of millions of years. And it gives scientists a rare window into just how long these many-armed creatures have ruled the Earth.
Alright, let's get all these things here. Let's get
You are
everything
listening to
out
all
here.
things considered from NPR.
And let's see.
Support for
So that'll be nothing for quite a while.
I'm from Rice University.
Fairly
Being
sure
bold
of
is a
that.
virtue for
Let's
its
see
global
now.
community of scholars, pursuing unconventional wisdom in the heart of Houston to build a better future for us all. Learn more at rice.edu. From Fisher Investments. Fisher Investments is a fiduciary, which means they always put clients' interests first.
Here's
Fisher
scrolls.
Investments. Clearly different money management.
Yeah, pretty
Investing in
far out, but
securities involves the
whatever.
risk of loss.
Alright, let's get more scrolls.
Global cybersecurity company with more than 435
Pretty much, we're going to have to buy raw food, we're going to have to buy animals to make more food, who will pretty much, you know, produce byproducts, which we can make into food. You know.
This is WANU
Because that is how you get food.
Wilson Marketplace is coming up next. On Consider This podcast right now, a mission to evacuate premature twin babies from Ukraine. You can listen at wanu.org/considerthis, or you can subscribe on your favorite podcast app.
Support for WNU comes from Virginia Tech in the DC metro area and focused on enhancing diversity
there. Nice. Get even more scrolls. Those scholars have written to them. Alright, let's pull them out. And let's see.
Marketplace is supported by GEP.
Honestly, we do not need all these scrolls.
Enterprises transform their supply chains for greater agility and resilience with complete visibility and better control. GEP.com.
Alright, then let's get yet more scrolls.
The news of today, more like the news of our global near-term economic future. From American Public Media, this is Marketplace.
Okay, then let's see. Hub scroll, scrolls. Right, let's get yet more scrolls out here. And let's see. Honestly, how many items do I have here?
The multi-dimensional data observability platform that works to improve data quality and reliability across hybrid data lakes and warehouses.
There's some scrolls. Alright, good. Yeah, let's see.
In Los Angeles, I'm Todd Rizzo. It is Wednesday, the 9th day of March. There's always to have you along, everybody. We started out this morning thinking that after 2 weeks of war and Western sanctions and all the twists and turns of the economic response to the invasion, it might be time.
Yep, we'll have scrolls.
Which sanctions are on which country? What can cut off? Where the commodities story happens to be, and what's left for the West to go after. So we made some calls. Sorted it out, and it became pretty clear that a better use of our time might be to talk about the guy who's ultimately going to decide what happens and what Vladimir Putin's economic future looks like. So we got Chris Miller on the phone. He's the co-director of the Russia and Eurasia program at the Fletcher School at Tufts. Professor Miller, welcome to the program. Good to have you on.
Thanks for having me.
So given all that by way of setup, what do you imagine Vladimir Putin's economic policy thoughts are right now?
Well, the Russian leadership is in a real dilemma. They've got a set of financial sanctions that they weren't prepared for and is imposing costs that they'll struggle to deal with. There's two key issues that they face. One is trying to make sure the financial system stays stable and don't have banking issues or financial markets freezing out domestically. And the second is trying to address the fall.
Let's get those exports going.
Prices go up, inflation drops.
Yeah, so that second
It's also request to trade at depot. I'm not saying.
A currency that's fundamentally worthless, drop by 50%, let's say. A stock market that has not opened, and as soon as it does, it will not be pretty. How does he take care of the Russian populace?
Well, the Russian government is still trying to keep the ruble from falling further.
Alright,
it does have some resources to do that with. It's not easy. But its ability to do this isn't indefinite because the resources are limited.
Yeah, we
so
lost.
At some point, the Russian government has to recognize that the sanctions are going to fall.
Do you think, so Russia has spent the last, 30-something years making really solid inroads to being a market economy. Do you think that can continue after this country, which is not a small economy, right? It's number like 11 or something in the world, after it's fundamentally cut off from a huge chunk of the global economy?
Okay, they're still
The problem that the market economy in Russia faces right now is that a lot of private businesses are essentially being squeezed off from any financing, and many cases squeezed
Alright,
off.
let's see. Because they want access to this. So they're gonna get access if they bring the food.
Industries that were generally speaking less reliant on
so we need that
or
now.
in spheres like energy where there's still a fair amount of foreign trade that's possible. It's the rest of the economy that really face the most difficult outlook.
They're still loading, okay.
Quantify that for me, would you? I mean, a bit of outlook over the coming months seems
Let's get food made.
Stellar, right? It will not be pretty.
But it won't be pretty. It's really difficult to forecast with any sort of certainty as to how bad it's going to be, in part because we haven't had sanctions like this on a major economy in 3/4 of a century.
Wax out there, schools, streaming things out, nice and
doesn't really they're right now providing for crisis that they weren't ready to face.
Do you suppose we're headed back to the and look, this is too far a jump, but to the Soviet-ish era days of a command economy over there?
You know, I think that is a reasonable comparison to make. The government's taking more and more direct control of business decisions,
Right, so both unloading everything we need, so, you know.
Individuals to access their own bank accounts. I think the other factor that matters on this front is that the Russian economy is going to get more militarized as the government tries to prepare itself for the current war and future confrontations. And the more the military and security services play a role in economic policy, the more command methods come to the fore.
Chris Miller, he's at the Fletcher School at Tufts. Professor Miller, thanks for your time, sir. I appreciate your time and your expertise.
Thanks for having me.
The only command on Wall Street today was to buy everything, except oil. Lots of selling there. We'll have the details when we do the number.
Alright, let's see.
The world uses, give or take, 100 million barrels of oil a day. The world produces, give or take, 100 million barrels of oil a day. It's a pretty delicate balance, and it doesn't take much of an imbalance to seriously affect the price. See, also, cutting off Russia, or even
Okay, so let's see. Now,
the answer when prices go up is to just pump more. That is, however, as we all know, a delicate geopolitical and environmental dance. And yes, the United States could produce more by itself. Not enough to completely fill the gap, mind you, but some. The thing is, even if we decided today we were going to start drilling, it'd be a good long while before any of that oil made its way out of the ground and into a refinery. Just how long a while? Andy Euler is our energy guy.
It's natural to look at a gas pump that reads $4 a gallon or more and wonder why oil companies based in the United States
alright,
aren't
let's
putting more oil onto the market. One, to take advantage of these higher prices, and two, to help out American consumers.
The problem is, and the harsh reality for U.S. oil markets, is that there is no switch that anyone can flip to just suddenly turn on oil production overnight. There just isn't.
That's Clark Williams-Derry. He's an analyst at the Institute for Energy Economics and Financial Analysis.
okay,
There
let's
is
get right on.
probably
Let's
going
buy
to
some
be a
stuff.
6 to 9 month lag between today's
What
high
is
prices and the time when the oil industry can bring significant amounts of
Let's
new
get right on.
production.
Let's get flasks and
And some
water
drillers are
skins.
already ramping up in the Permian Basin of West Texas and the Bakken Shale of North Dakota. Those are mostly privately owned companies chasing
Alright,
profits
let's
now.
get right on. Let's
But
get all of
public
these.
and their investors have been burned in the past by what people in the industry call irrational exuberance, and they're moving a lot slower. Michael Lynch is a fellow at the Energy Policy Research Foundation.
A few have started to talk about spending more, like 20%, but they're still feeling pressure from the capital markets and so forth to not go hog wild as a tendency to do historically.
And when it comes to major oil companies, the multinationals, they're not limited to increasing production in West Texas or the Dakotas. They have lots of other cheaper options. Fracking shale wells is more expensive than getting oil out of conventional wells. Francis O'Sullivan, an adjunct professor at MIT's Sloan School of Business, he says they have higher input costs, require more work and equipment to keep oil moving.
So even though it has the capacity to ramp up production quickly, it's important to recognize that that's certainly not a low-cost source of new production.
O'Sullivan says high oil prices are both a blessing and a curse for companies trying to get crude out of the ground. Sure, they're able to charge more for a produced barrel, but their service providers can also charge more for their labor. That is, if there's any available.
You know what's going to happen with the price of oil going through the roof. Equipment's going to be hard to find. Crews are going to be hard to find.
Paul Baumer is a senior lecturer in the Department of Petroleum Engineering at the University of Texas at Austin.
You might have 100 wells you want to complete, but you can't get the equipment and the people to complete them.
And Baumer says that's only going to increase the amount of time between the drill bit hitting the dirt and the first gallon flowing into your tank. In Austin, I'm Andy Euler for Marketplace.
calorie primer here by way of setting up Matt 11 and this next story. We're talking gas prices, which, in case you somehow have missed it, sit today at $4.25 on the national average. That is today's money, nominal dollars, is what economists say. And you have surely heard that is higher than the previous record set of $4.16 a gallon, which it is. But what we need to do to compare the two is talk about real dollars, dollars adjusted for inflation. And that 2008 gallon of gas in 2022 real dollars would be $5.25. Now, does that make you feel better? No, of course not. Come on, and I get that. Now,
I know. Quite a bit of trading done. Right, let's see.
Governors from New Mexico and Michigan want Congress to
Let's move in, get more goods. Specifically, let's get some scrolls. Extracts, no, crafts, let's get,
The federal gas tax hasn't increased since
tools going, scrolls specifically, let's see.
cents a gallon. Howard Blackman at the Tax Policy Center says suspending the tax
Actually, you know what, we have enough scrolls pending. We do.
It's about $100 a year, so it's about 30 cents a day.
I kind of don't feel
all
like
those
we do.
savings would get passed on to consumers.
What's more likely to happen is that oil companies will simply keep some of the tax cut themselves.
A gas tax holiday proposed by some congressional Democrats tries to curb oil company windfalls, but Blackman is skeptical it's actually enforceable. And while savings at the pump may be relatively small, you could drive a Hummer through the hole it would leave in the federal infrastructure budget. Robert Fuentes is president of the Eno Center for Transportation.
It would be about a $20 billion hit on the Transportation Trust Fund.
That's the main source of money for fixing roads, bridges, and subways. And Fuentes says a gas tax holiday for the rest of the year would cut it in half. And there's a bigger question. Do we really want gas to be cheaper?
As we're trying to build the vehicles, the infrastructure, the gas tax on the federal and state levels is a big component of that.
But those state gas taxes can be sizable. In California and New York, it's about 50 cents a gallon. But the Tomato with the Brookings Institution says it's important to remember gas taxes are regressive, giving poorer households more than richer ones. In his mind, a holiday could help those who need it most.
What we expect is to see more households have a little bit more scratch in their budget during a time of real inflationary pressure.
Tomato says infrastructure funding could come from other sources besides the pump. As cars have been more fuel efficient, gas tax revenue has been flatlining anyway. I'm Matt Levin for Marketplace.
Let's get more hemp scrolls going. Alright, let's see.
Okay, you might remember we talked about the flight to safety the other day. People were buying U.S. government bonds because they are safe as the shock of the war in Ukraine started to really sink in. The way bonds work is that the more people buy them, the lower the yield, the interest rate that they pay. And that flight to safety has started showing up now in the housing market. Mortgage rates fell last week for the first time in about 3 months. Mortgage Bankers Association says average interest on a 30-year fixed rate mortgage dropped to 4.09%, 4.15%.
Schools.
That's great if you can lock in your rate, say, now. But with the war still happening and the Fed meeting next week and inflation and everything, there's a whole lot of uncertainty about where rates are headed as the spring home buying season gets underway. Marketplace's Amy Scott is on that.
This may well be a temporary dip in mortgage rates because we know what's coming next week. Danielle Hale, chief economist at Realtor.com,
let's get more hemp scrolls going.
Interest rates at their March meeting to try to curb inflation.
While they acknowledge there's a lot of uncertainty in the economy stemming from the conflict in Europe, they still see the need to tighten. And so that means we're likely to see mortgage rates begin to tick up again.
In the short term, she says that could actually spur home sales as buyers rush to lock in what are still very low rates before they rise further. But longer term,
affordability seems very top of mind.
Alright, now, let's
especially in an inflationary environment like we're in right now.
There are signs inflation is already weighing on buyers' minds. Tawanda Burney is a broker in Charlotte, North Carolina, who also has a loan signing
weeks with gas prices. I think
That
there's a
should be
lot
most of them, let's see. If not all of them. So then, let's get all those schools in there.
Those prices are hurting her business in another way.
I've got a vehicle that takes premium gas, and I just don't want to.
Alright, let's see.
What hasn't changed is the lack of homes for sale.
So now
Listings
if we
typically
go.
pick up during the spring and summer months.
Let's see, so let's trade if we can. Nope, we can't. Not yet, at least. We need more schools. At least more schools bought. More schools brought. So let's see, we need to bring up more schools over.
Expect them to be two-phased by higher mortgage rates.
The second home buyers, either just, life is short.
Yeah, if we want to acquire more things, we need more schools.
Tomorrow breaks. And now I think also people are saying, hey, it might be a good idea to diversify our holdings and let's put something in real estate.
Because, I mean, we do need more things, so we're getting more schools. It's just how we're going to do it. Alright, now let's see. The population is not reducing as drastically, so that's good. We're also going to need to rely on imports extremely heavily, though, and I'm going to go for some of these.
Dow Industrials up 653 today, that's 2%, 33,286. The Nasdaq added 459 points, about 3.6%, finished at 13,255. The S&P 500 up 107 points, 2.5%. 42 and 77. Netflix up 5% on an upgrade from Wedbush. The investment firm cited Netflix's big subscriber base and said that gave the streamer a nearly insurmountable competitive advantage over its streaming peers, of which Amazon added 2.4%. Today, Disney gained 1.4%. Oil, talked about that. The global benchmark, Brent North Sea crude, $112.94 a barrel at the close. That is down just about 12%. Bond prices fell. Yield on the 10-year Treasury note rose to 1.93% today. Clearly, people not worried about risk anywhere. They're listening to Marketplace.
Marketplace numbers is supported by PayScan, B2B payments reimagined. Marketplace is supported by USB technology, funding billions of devices. USB implementers forum reminds consumers that some products display USB-I photos. Enabling USB download.
Alright guys, I'm back. Let's do this. Hopefully there's more schools this time. So let's trade. Okay, let's see. I have no more spam. Right, let's see. So now let's go right ahead. Let's get some stuff if we can. So let's head down here and then let's see. Right, let's see. Let's head here. Let's get all the weapons.
Thanks for joining us for Marketplace here on WAMU 88.5. Coming up later this evening at 8 o'clock on The World, people in the Ukrainian city of Lviv are rushing to protect cultural treasures in the midst of the Russian invasion. That story and much more, that's on The World tonight from 8 to 9. Right now, 41 degrees in Washington, 39 degrees in Gaithersburg, and 41 degrees in Sterling.
Looks like I'm not going to be able to get everything I want, but I'm going to be able to get some things I want. Alright, then let's see. Yeah, I can then sell these skulls at a marked up price somewhere else. I would buy more equipment and stuff to increase its trading capacity. Alright, then let's see. Let's see, so yeah, pretty much. Yeah, we need a lot of things.
And getting to the fight against Russia, the actual conduct of the war itself. Just yesterday, the Ukrainian government raised more than $250 million in war bond sales. But more often than not, this Marketplace's Lily Jamali reports getting that money into the right hands. Good job.
As Russia rolled into Ukraine, the Ukrainian government asked the world for help, and people here in San Francisco's main Ukrainian neighborhood heeded that call.
trying to send money to special account to raise funds for Ukrainian armed force.
You want to support the effort?
I want to support Ukrainian armed force.
But Alex Savitniak was stuck, and you haven't been able to do that.
I want to send yesterday $5,000. Yeah.
And how did you try to do that?
I'm going to Chase Bank and show that account number from government, but that's not work.
The Ukrainian government has been sharing its bank account information for weeks on social media and on television. But international money transfers can be tricky. So Livniak called up a friend, Igor Shurikov, who has some advice.
So people say it's a little bit easier with Wells Fargo, and whatever is shown on the Ukrainian television, they show those routing numbers, the account numbers. The Bank of America doesn't support that. It also requires the SWIFT code and so on.
Helping individuals put up money to
Alright,
defend against an invasion isn't something most major U.S. banks have experience with. And SWIFT, the messaging technology involved in sending these kinds of wire transfers, and from which Russia has been banned, can be pretty clunky.
It's a system that was designed 50 years ago, and this has a lot of limitations to it.
Lisa Ellis is a partner at equity research firm Moffett-Nathanson.
The primary issue most likely occurring in this case is the issue of just account verification.
In other words, a legal requirement that banks have to make sure the money is actually going to the Ukrainian government and that it isn't being used for anything illegal.
It's put in place to restrict the ability of criminal enterprises to move money.
Ukraine is also accepting cryptocurrency, says Lee Reiners at Duke University's law school.
To my knowledge, this is the first time sort of see active crowdfund campaign conducted by a nation state, principally to receive cryptocurrencies.
Reiners says there are pros and cons.
Crypto is easier to send across borders without the need for any know your customer checks or any of that stuff. So I can see the appeal on both sides, but there's just a lot of risk involved.
For example, a fraudster could pose as the Ukrainian government. Reiner says for people who want to support Ukraine, donating to humanitarian organizations is a safer bet. He says it's best to leave funding Ukraine's army to other nation states. In San Francisco, I'm Lily Jamali for Marketplace.
Alright then, so let's see, what do we do? Okay. High schools do we have?
Okay, let's do
At least high schools that we have moving.
Shall we? The item that is going to get all the non-war headlines.
So we need to move those.
February Consumer Price Index, which
Let's
you don't even have to be a regular listener to this program to know, is inflation at the consumer level. 7.5% annually.
So now, well, we're going to need to get some stuff there. Alright, let's see.
There are two numbers to look at. The headline number, of course, which is all prices.
Okay,
And
let's
then
see.
core inflation, which in January was a lower but still high 6%. And
Alright, so somehow we're still generating value. I have no idea how, but we are somehow still getting value. Now, I need to stop generating value and start living off of, well, pretty much the value we have. So, yeah. Let's see. Let's see if we can do that. Using imports and exports. So, let's see. Alright, let's see. So, we are going to need to move in clothing. Let's see. Heck yeah. Let's get all this headway going. Alright, let's get all of the headway trading.
Some economists got the bright idea that, well, let's just strip out these prices that are rising the fastest.
We need to import a lot of food.
And then see what happens.
So let's get food included. And let's go right out. Let's do some stuff there, and then let's see.
There haven't been all that many periods of high inflation since the 1970s, but that whole headline and core split in the
Right, let's see. So let's go right ahead and let's trade. Okay. So plenty of value to work with here. So let's see.
I did get a briefing the day before the inflation numbers came out, where they walked me through everything that was in there.
Alright, let's see. Okay.
I remember one time when the price of limes shot up and it was like $1.50 per lime and $2 per lime.
Because we need to defend ourselves.
With a blight down in Mexico.
So let's get on.
Right, that blight or bad weather can move food prices a lot in a single month. So the Corps splits them out to manage that volatility.
They're looking at from a monetary policy standpoint. Core inflation is going to be what you want to be following.
Alright, let's get all these schools in here. See how much buying power we actually have. Probably won't actually have enough. Alright, let's see.
Well, this is where the debate starts to get interesting.
That's Gleason from the St. Louis Fed again. The debate he's talking about is which inflation number you are focused on more. For him personally, it's headline.
If you ask people, is inflation going up or going down, and they say, well, let's see, it costs you more.
So we are definitely going. I mean, my concern is actually getting the items physically to the depot. So, you know, because all the items are still deep underground. So we're going to actually have to get them out of the ground, out of the base, into the depot, nicely. So, yeah. Alright, let's see. There, we just imported a ton of stuff. Okay, so we have hemp skulls trading. Good. Alright, let's see.
On the way out today, tip of the hat to Olivia Knox at the Washington Post. We came upon some data from Castellum AI. They track economic sanctions and regulations. Anyway, they say Russia is now the most sanctioned country in the world. 5,532 separate sanctions against them.
Yeah, we are. Okay, so evaluation for Iran is probably. This time went down dramatically by 10k. So, like, our valuation is going down because of this trade. But our survival is happening. So, yeah, we are surviving, but at a cost. So, yeah. Let's see what our buying power is before we do anything. Let's get everything traded. Alright, so that's our buying power. It's pretty low. Alright, let's see. One point, we were literally giving Yelp stuff. Not like we could give anything. Wait, what? Let's see. Bronze mail shirt. Let's get that done. Okay, let's see. And we were giving stuff away to attract migrants. Now, we are not giving stuff away. We're definitely not giving anything away at this point. Let's see. So, let's see. Alright, let's see. Okay, so now only more skulls in there. Stuff in there.
And this is WAMU 88.5. I'm Jonathan Wilson. Thanks for listening to Marketplace with us. We've got national and local headlines coming up in just a couple of minutes, and of course we will check in with the Capital Weather Gang, and we'll get to all things considered. Later this evening, we've got on point at 9 o'clock.
Quite a
more
bit.
than 1 million Ukrainians have been
Also, with all trades come loss. Otherwise, the traders won't accept the trades because, you know, the traders have their own expenses. So, yeah. Let's see. But that does come with a problem for me. Because if I'm not giving the traders all sorts of stuff, well, you know.
Northern Virginia's only health system offering proton therapy. Its proton center is pro-patient, with many treatment options, plus excellent oncologists and surgeons. More information
information at innova.org/ProPatient. XQ Institute. DCPS and XQ Institute are rethinking high school so that all students graduate ready for their lives. More on joining your community to design the future of DC's high schools at dcxq.us.
That was tradable and traded. Alright, there we go. So yeah, pretty much I'm doing a bunch of micro trades. Well, do pretty much keep the traders there.
New York City say they'll no longer take money from foster children to pay for their own care.
We have been doing this thing that's unethical and that doesn't serve the kids
let's
that we
see.
are the legal parents of, and we're going to stop doing it.
First, this news.
Live from NPR News in Washington, I'm Windsor Johnston. The Pentagon says it does not support the transfer of fighter jets to Ukraine, saying the venture would not significantly change the effectiveness of its air force. Spokesperson John Kirby says the move would be a high-risk step that could escalate tensions with Russia.
The intelligence community has assessed transfer of MiG-29s to Ukraine may be mistaken as escalatory and could result in a significant Russian reaction that might increase the prospects of a military escalation with NATO.
Kirby says there are other options that are much better suited to support the Ukrainian military in their fight against Russia.
Okay, migrants have arrived. Good. Alright then. Let's see. So hopefully those migrants can also haul some stuff in. Alright, so the population is indeed increasing. Alright, let's see. So let's head up here. Let's head over here, then let's try to get. We shall. We need to at this point. Let's see. Goods. Okay. We have enough for another round of trades. Let's see.
Ukraine's ambassador to Britain Wednesday told the parliamentary committee that visa rules should be temporary.
Nice, glad my legend. I'm glad my efforts are legend.
Poland says more than 1 country
glad my efforts made legend. Let's see, so yeah, pretty much. Right, let's see. So now what are we going to do? Okay. Make Bronzelo boot. Let's see, copper, iron, bronze helm.
Live from WAMU, I'm Jonathan Wilson with local news. A Fairfax group is recommending that the Board of Supervisors in that county rename 2 of the county's magisterial districts, Lee District and Sully District. WAMU's Margaret Barthel reports.
The Fairfax County Redistricting Advisory Committee said both names have ties to slavery. While its research didn't conclusively link Lee District to Robert E. Lee, the committee said the name still calls to mind the Confederate leader and would cause confusion. Sully District, the group found, was named after a local plantation where black people were enslaved.
Okay, so we are definitely going to need to get stuff going.
Are up to the Board of Supervisors. For WAMU,
Population 133. Good. Alright, let's see. So now what I'm going to do.
It was a raw
Let's see.
picked up over half an inch of rain and temperatures only hit the low 40s. We'll try out tomorrow and Friday before turbulent day weather on Saturday.
Okay,
Let's see cloudy skies tonight and chilly lows in the mid to upper
bring in
30s.
some
We
items.
have on the considerable cloud cover tomorrow with maybe a few peaks of sun and highs just
And then
above
let's
50.
see.
Friday is the nicest
Let's
day
get
in
items
Sunday.
brought
We'll get
in.
a sun and highs closer to 60. But hang on for a wild ride on Saturday. The day begins with rain before a cold front drops temperatures sharply from near 50 into the 30s. Then winds pick
Alright,
up
so
just into
we
the
do
40s
indeed
on
have yet
Friday.
more stuff.
Can't rule out some snow showers.
Can trade, I
Saturday
believe.
night it's windy and very cold.
Alright,
with wind
let's
chills
see.
down near
Let's
10 degrees.
trade.
For the couple winter
Another
day,
round of goods.
Thanks for that forecast.
Exchange.
41 degrees right now in Washington, 39 degrees in Frederick, 41 degrees in Alexandria.
Plenty of stuff.
That's WAMU 88.5 News. For our latest local coverage, visit dcs.com.
Love boot, there's some bronze cap. There's some bronze cap. Let's see. That's not what I want. let's see how much this is worth. If we can buy another round.
Support for NPR comes from this station
Does not
and from
look like
Indeed, a hiring platform
Let's
with tools to
see.
help businesses attract, screen, interview
Alright, let's see. How much goods do we have pending? Let's see, how much do we actually have pending?
working to help brands deliver
Alright, so we have plenty of stuff pending. Okay, so yeah, we have tons of stuff pending. Also, let's see. But we could we do more? Probably not. Let's see.
This is All Things Considered from NPR News. I'm Elsa Chang in Los Angeles.
And I'm Ari Shapiro in Poland near the border with Ukraine. We've all come across how-to guides, practical tips on navigating a situation, often shared on social
So
media.
now what do we do?
Because my team was getting ready to fly
Say
with
goods.
just like that. But it wasn't about how to fly with a baby or pack a carry-on. This list
Alright,
detailed
let's
practical
discuss.
tips to flee by train.
The world is the same as
It
ever.
was written by Ina Granova, a Ukrainian Polish citizen.
Let's see.
She was on vacation in a rural part of Ukraine when Russian bombs started falling.
Okay. So let's go right ahead and let's see. Alright,
Ina's
let's
parents
see.
stayed
So
in
let's
Ukraine
go
while she, her niece,
over
sister-in-law, and her
here.
sister-in-law's
Let's see.
family fled.
Wait,
Just getting to the
right
train station
now,
was harrowing. Along the way, they heard
we
alarms
need
warning about attacks. At one point, the group
pets,
hid in a forest while
definitely.
her mother was tracking their location on her phone.
All of them.
saying, hey guys, you can see that you're closely next to the military object. So be extremely
We
careful
don't
because
need.
it can get attacked.
We need livestock, really. Donkeys.
Ina's group
Horses.
did change their route and finally got to the train station where they waited in a crowd for hours.
Pigs. Rams. Sows. Wolves.
This is like when I was
Goose, gander, yak cow, yak bull, lamb, llama, alpaca, guinea hen, alpaca, peacock, peahen, peacock, turkey hen, turkey gobbler, doe rabbit, and buck rabbit. There we go. Alright, let's see.
So people were trying to protect themselves but also helping each other.
So then let's head to cheese, water buffalo cheese, donkey cheese, all the cheese.
Ina's desire to continue to help people led her to write that list on Facebook. She described the post as a sort of life hack, and we asked her to read some of those hacks for us.
Number 1. Preference given to women and children.
Let's go fish.
How to hide.
Right, one fish.
Number 2.
Let's do one fish.
Country train station.
One fish, cave monster. Let's do those. Right, plants. Helmets, gun vegetables.
Number 6. The records get crowded to the very last.
Okay, so that will be all.
Number 7. When waiting for the next train. Number 8.
Alright,
Usually
let's
the
see.
train takes only 4 hours.
Let's go right ahead. Let's trade.
4 hours to get to
Capital good. Get rid of it. So let's see. Okay then, let's go right ahead and let's see. Alright, let's see. So now we go. Alright, so let's head down here. Let's get all these wiped to trade. Then let's see. Let's head right down here. Let's see, so now. Alright, let's fair trade. Okay. Let's go. Look over documents. Gosh. Alright, let's see. So. Alright, okay. let's see.
Ina says many people have taken her up on that offer.
Alright then, let's see. So we are also going to need plenty of stuff moved to the depot.
She emphasizes she feels lucky.
Like we were all saying that after this train, we will never complain on any transportation. Like we cannot complain when we traveling right after this. But at the same time, again, like it's much easier to go to such a town and get to a safe place than to stay in the country.
So let's go. Let's go right ahead down here.
I definitely don't want to put too much attention to my story and to like act like if it was like way too difficult, because I know what my family and my friends are going through, and they're staying in Ukraine as well.
A quick scan of Ina's Facebook page today shows she is still trying to help, especially those still in Ukraine. You can read Ina Granova's post on what to expect in Ukraine at npr.org.
How can we help? That's the question the owners of a small sausage company in New York asked after hearing an interview on this show with our host here, Kelly Hopko was in Ukraine on the day of Russia.
Hey, I'm starting the curry stir fry.
Don't stir the pot.
What?
Don't stir the pot. Alright,
10 minutes till dinner.
Okay. Anyways, let's see. So now okay, let's head over here. Then let's see. So now what do we do?
Ushering democracy. She was a member of parliament, and as we heard, she is a mother who, after much thought, bought her young daughter a guinea pig.
I'm sugar, definitely taking
And it was just this, strong independent woman talking about.
Alright, so what do I not need? Sugar. Let's trade. Alright, so let's see. I'm gonna give them everything I can at this point. But, it's not like I can give them much.
We just felt like we wanted to do something that we don't have a lot of money for. We're like, well, we can make a sausage, a delicious sausage, and get the profits for that.
Okay, let's see. So let's go right
To their surprise, the Barons found others who wanted to help. A local farmer sold them one of his pigs, someone donated casings, and a Ukrainian chef friend helped with the recipe.
Just getting those flavors.
Alright, nice. We have some valuable scrolls there.
The potatoes,
Alright,
the dill.
let's see.
Finally we got it. We all tasted it. We're
So
like,
let's
yes,
head
this is the one.
The Dwarf sausage was born, and as for what to name it,
We always kind of do fun names, so
So now
we said,
what?
the age for
Let's
her
see.
head though. We just think that she's an incredible force of nature.
the Barons tweeted Hopko to ask permission.
And she actually responded back to us and sent us a picture of her guinea pig.
I was worried that she was going to be like, how dare you use my name for something like this, but she seems, trying to help.
The HH sausage is for sale online, but just in the city of New York. It's also
blogger teacher, the short of Ukrainian friend is a chef. Meanwhile, when we last checked in Hopko, she had crossed the border to Poland.
Alright, then let's see. Alright, then let's buy some sand off of them.
More than 2 million people
Then
have
let's
fled
go
Ukraine
right
since
ahead.
Russia
Let's get some
attacked 2
sugar.
weeks ago. At least half of them children. And for the littlest ones, premature babies, the journey is especially dangerous.
Let's see. Sweet pod seeds.
The war didn't want to let them go. Thanks for the good people that we trained.
Listen to the story of those tiny twins, Lenny and Moisha, on today's Consider This podcast.
Okay, let's see.
You're listening to All Things Considered from NPR.
Pigtail.
This is WAMU 88.5. I'm Jonathan Wilson. Good evening. Last year, local youth co-wrote a series of 4 children's books about their experiences as immigrants. WAMU's Hector Arzate spoke with them about that experience and the impact it had on them.
So now,
Even with the love of reading and writing,
let's trade
Joy
here.
never imagined she could co-author a children's book. Uku was born in Jamaica to Nigerian parents and says it was hard to envision herself as
So
a public
pretty
author
much,
in America.
yeah, we are going to
However,
need
thanks
a
to
lot
local
of
publisher
stuff.
Shotguns Press, Uku was was able to co-write Joy, Grace, and the Dress Dilemma. It's a story that she says hits close to home.
There's not a lot of books that showcase or feature people from diverse backgrounds, so
Oh, great, just great. Anyways, let's see. Now we are going to need more food.
As part of the Beyond Borders series, the book follows main character Joy Grace and the challenges she faces ahead of Culture Day at school. With Nigerian, Jamaican, and Ethiopian heritage, she finds herself unable to choose a dress to showcase her identity.
But she has to figure out how to navigate that and which culture is the best to choose from for her dress. She comes to the conclusion that
So now that, let's see.
With authors representing 8 different
Okay
cultures around the world,
let's see,
Alexa
so
Pepper,
now.
the program director for Shophouse, says collaboration was crucial. Patrick says it helped them center stories for immigrant youth.
Let's head over
Not only does it
somewhere.
create a space for them to maybe be more involved in storytelling and reading, but it also creates the opportunity for other young people as well to see themselves in literature.
Let's head down here.
Yasmin pictures home. It was about writing a story about what it feels like to be new or different.
So here we have some cotton bolts. Alright, let's get a few of those.
Eventually, she finds her way after bonding with friends Hector, Manolito, and Jorge, each one an immigrant like her.
Okay, let's unbuy some of that. Let's see. Will you accept that? Yes, you will. Good, thank you. Alright, let's see. Now, let's see if we go trade. So we have plenty of weight to work with as well.
He wanted
So,
readers
like,
like
you
him
know.
to see themselves reflected in the literature.
So, how much stuff we still need to bring over
While the book series is
there? A
about the
lot,
immigrant
that's how
experience,
much.
he doesn't
Right,
think
let's
people
see.
being immigrants to enjoy
Let's
it.
get stuff
He
traded.
says being new is a feeling that many readers can relate to. Since publishing, both Peter and Ubu say they've gotten a lot of praise from their friends.
Let's get stuff out of stockpiles and trade.
And hope to inspire
Then
others
let's
to
see.
tell their own stories.
I feel like now I know that I can do it. I just have to work at it. And in the future, I hope to write and publish more children's
Okay,
books
so let's
that
go
give
goods.
and feature children
Alright, good.
are usually not
Okay, so let's see.
The book series was published with
Other
help from the
things we
Latin
need to
American
get.
Youth Center.
Alright, then let's
You
see.
can purchase them
Let's
online
go right and
or
let's
check them out
trade.
in your local DC public library.
So how much is this worth? We should all
It's
this
6:48
worth
here on
whatever.
WANU. We've got more items to
let's
consider
see.
coming up in the 7 o'clock hour. The licensing
I'm
process for
desperate.
new
I
nurses
need
often
stuff.
takes several months.
I mean, like, we have a civilization that has made a ton of stuff. So, you know, we made a
Meanwhile,
ton of
hospitals
stuff.
across the
But
country are
the
dealing
only
with
problem
severe
is,
nursing
you
shortages.
know,
More on that story coming up at the top of next hour here on WANU. A quick reminder that the spring membership campaign starts soon, and it's a great time to think about giving monthly as a sustaining member.
Let's
It's
trade.
easy on your budget, and it's
Buy some
reliable for
handles.
WANU.
Okay,
Plus,
let's
there are
see.
special thank you gifts available right now online at WANU.org.
Alright, let's
As
see.
always,
So now,
thanks.
2 million
I'll go
animals
right
have
ahead
been
and
forced
move
across the
goods.
world.
Let's see. So we go right ahead and we see what we know. And let's see. So we go. Let's see. Never mind. That is nothing
Russian attacks in Ukraine intensify. That's on the next.
we can do right now. Let's see.
Listen tonight from 9 to 10 here on WANU.
Support for WANU comes from Georgetown
Now all we
University
can do is
School of
wait,
Women Studies,
to be honest. Let's see.
forward-heading online
So let's
master's
wait.
programs and industry-focused subjects. More at scs.georgetown.edu.
So great.
Geico, offering auto insurance coverage for
Great.
cars,
Alright,
trucks,
let's see.
SUVs, and providing
So let's go
24/7
right
customer
ahead. Let's
service.
get some stuff done. Let's wait. Let's see.
The Baltimore Symphony,
Great,
presenting The
great.
Wizard of Oz on the big screen.
Let's
The
see.
episode performs the Academy Award-winning score at the Music Center at Strathmore, March 2nd.
How many skulls we
Tickets
on?
at bsomusic.org.
Not enough, apparently. Keep on skulls.
Right now on the
Right,
Consider This
let's see.
podcast,
So,
a mission to
yeah.
evacuate premature twin baby Ukraine. Plus, another school mask mandate comes down. This time it's Montgomery County. Listen now at WAMU.org/consideration. Subscribe on your favorite podcast app.
Let's go right on. Let's trade. Okay.
This is All Things Considered. I'm Elsa Chen.
And I'm Sarah Buchanan.
Right, that's quite a bit of stuff. Well, that's worth quite a bit of stuff, rather. Let's see. So now what can we buy? Let's see. Let's head all the way down here. Let's get some sugar. Here. Let's
Melanie Perez was just 12 years old when she went into foster care. She left foster care once and tried to make it on her own.
So you got sugar somewhere. There's some sugar somewhere. Let's see. Sugar. Where is sugar? Let's see.
One reason she returned to foster care when she was 19. Now she's 21, the mother of a 1-year-old daughter. Soon she'll be too old to stay in foster care. A few years ago, she was told that because of her various disabilities,
so let's head down
Social Security was sending her a monthly benefit check, several $100s a month. But the city foster care agency was cashing in and reimbursing itself for the food, shelter, and other things it provided to Melanie Perez.
All right, let's see.
That's what I'm saying. It's like not okay for them to take something that is not theirs.
NPR and the Marshall Project last year reported on this. We found child welfare agencies in probably every state take benefit checks, usually without even telling the child in foster care.
Alright then, so let's head over here. Let's go goods.
Even hire private companies to figure out which kids to sign up for that revenue. Even though no other children get billed for their own foster care, just the ones who get Social Security benefits because they're disabled or because a parent has died. Now, New York City is planning to set aside that money for the youth whose name is on the check.
We want to make sure that young people have the benefit of their benefits.
Jess Danhauser is
Alright,
the commissioner of
let's
the
see.
Administration for Children's Services, New York City.
So now what?
Protection Agency.
Well, let's see.
This summer, the agency will start putting those Social Security checks into savings accounts. When youth leave foster care, they face big odds. Elevated rates of unemployment, homelessness. Danhauser says it matters to have money in a savings account.
They can go to college, you can go to
Alright, let's see.
apartment,
So now what we
to
have.
pursue a technical career. Those resources can mean the difference between a really rocky start to that transition or one that they really have a foundation to launch from.
For a child who gets benefits because they've been orphaned, the money set aside will add up to several $1,000s a year. For a child who's disabled or has a disabled parent, the plan is to put aside $2,000, a limit set by the federal government. Advocates for youth say there are ways New York could set up special accounts and save more than just $2,000. Still, Amy Hartfeld from the Children's Advocacy Institute says the city's move is groundbreaking.
What New York City is doing is courageous because they basically said, we have been doing this thing that's unethical and that doesn't serve the kids that we are the legal parents of. And so even though we've become accustomed to taking this money, it's not the right thing to do. And we're going to stop doing it.
For Melanie Perez, the young woman in foster care, getting that money could be a big help.
I want to take care of my child. So help me be independent. So help me pay
Maryland is the one state that already puts aside some Social Security money. Now there's legislation in Nebraska, Texas, Minnesota, and Illinois to stop taking Social Security benefits from children in foster care. Joseph Shapiro, NPR News.
Russia's invasion of Ukraine is strengthening the Ukrainian Orthodox Church. Ukrainian Orthodox believers in the Chicago area are intentionally seeking out church services from their own culture, rather than Russian Orthodoxy. From NBC WBC, Adora Mini-Depe reports.
On a busy Saturday morning at St. Andrew's
Bumblebee brain.
girls and boys
Bumblebees have brains? What? Let's see. He's a brains now. Let's see. Black bears. Fish. Yes, I will take all your fish. Thank you very much.
Down the hall, women in the church kitchen packaged pierogi.
Alright, let's see.
Ready to purchase the little dumplings to support their church.
Alright, let's get all those fish.
One member, Oksana Lukanova, is a Ukrainian immigrant who came to the U.S. in 2007.
He loves his church, will help them, support them.
Alright, let's go right out. Let's get all
Lukanova
this
didn't always
fish.
worship at this church in the western Chicago suburb of Bloomingdale. She used to go to Holy Virgin Protection Russian Orthodox Cathedral closer to her house. But when her father joined her in the U.S., he insisted that the family attend a Ukrainian Orthodox church. Hence the move to St. Andrew.
Alright, let's trade. There we go. Alright, let's see. So, pretty much. There we go. Now I can get all that food.
Many Orthodox Ukrainians join Russian congregations simply because they're nearby, and there are more of them. But a change is happening.
Alright, let's see.
In the long run, that church is going to get much larger.
George Dimakopoulos is co-director of Fordham University's Orthodox Christian Study Center. He says at least 12 Russian Orthodox bishops in Ukraine are refusing to recognize the Patriarch of Moscow as the head of the church. They've stopped
Okay, let's
Because they believe that
trade.
Patriarch Kirill of Moscow has effectively forfeited his pastoral responsibility, either because he is a willing accomplice of Putin's invasion, or simply because he lacks the fortitude to stand up to Putin.
Dimakopoulos says a clergyman in Russia who speaks out against the war could be arrested and tried for treason. In the U.S., a priest who raises concerns could theoretically be removed from his parish. But Ukrainian Orthodox clergy and congregations in the U.S. are free of such concerns. Board President John Juresko says there's a silver lining to the grim realities of this war. He sees it in the way Ukrainian Christians are discovering, and in some cases, rediscovering, Ukrainian Orthodox congregations.
They utilize it for
we need way more food. So let's get more food in here. Let's see.
And it opens their eyes and it opens their hearts.
He says people come to churches like St. Andrew because it's a place of solidarity, both with Ukrainian Americans and those still living in their homeland.
And so these people are now understanding that
we don't need that.
I need to search out
backpacks. Cheese. Yes, we need cheese.
And I need to be proud of
Alright, let's buy that. All of that. Because we need our cooks going at full throttle here. Let's get our cooks some ingredients to work with.
You're listening to All Things Considered on NPR News.
Support for NPR comes from this station and from Procter & Gamble, maker of Lion Probiotic, a daily supplement to support digestive health. It's a probiotic strain developed by gastroenterologists with 20 years of experience. More at alionprobiotics.com. From Lifelock Pharma, reminding consumers that sensitive info sent online can lead to identity theft. Learn more at lifelock.com/NPR. From Progressive Insurance with Snapshot, which monitors safe driving habits to determine a personalized rate. At Progressive.com.
Oh, nice, you have blue
Not
bells.
available in
Okay.
California and North Carolina, or from all agents. And from the listeners who support this NPR station.
Alright, we don't need to rebuy any of our hemp schools. Let's see. And codices. Alright, we do not need any codices. Anything I missed here? Any animals, perhaps?
That COVID is a risk to them.
The challenge is finding the right dose for the youngest on the next morning edition from NPR News.
Listen tomorrow morning from 5 to 9 here on WAMU 88.5.
Yes, we could use some sand.
Committed to improving the State Street network for customers to browse, video conference, stream
let's input sand and quicklime and such.
This is WAMU Washington. Your listeners supported NPR news station from American University in HD at 88.5.
Alright, and let's trade. There we go. Alright, so that will be all for trading. Okay then, let's see.
You cannot be inconsistent and
Right, let's see. So, pretty much, we have inputted quite a bit of stuff here.
National security official under President Trump is criticizing the Biden administration for negotiating with Venezuelan leaders. For Wednesday, March 9th, this is All Things Considered.
So, you know, let's get lavish meals prepared nicely. Let's see, so what do we need to do here? Oh, we need to get lavish meals going nicely. Alright, let's see, so once we have lavish meals, we're going to need to get other stuff going. Okay, so let's see.
And now some trained nurses are struggling to get their licenses approved.
Your mother, your father, your grandmother, your grandfather are now going to get the level of care the insurance had if staffing were appropriate.
Alright, let's see. So we are going to need to get more food. What is our food reserves? Okay, so that managed to increase our food reserves a lot. Let's see. Good. Okay, then, let's see.
Anthony Blinken is saying he is convinced Russia's efforts to take Ukraine will fail. They're also saying today one of the main goals
how much did it cost us, though?
Introducing, in our case, American
So,
in Ukraine.
let's see. How many schools do we need, though?
American pilots
Do we need to
into
lose?
Ukrainian airspace, whether on a full or on a limited basis, could almost certainly lead to direct conflict between the United States,
Alright, let's see.
and Russia.
Let's go right ahead. Let's get a school maker making schools. Alright, and then let's also go right ahead. Let's get some more poets right in the schools. You know, let's see.
White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki was asked at a news briefing if the White House thought there was an opportunity to spend China to help resolve the Ukraine crisis. China and Russia have grown much closer in recent years and see each
Let's
other
get
as
the temple, your resources. Alright, sorry guys, we're not on the stream.